All right, everyone. Zuckerberg came out the other day and he's like, "Oh, my New Year's resolution for 2019 is to try to keep election interference to a minimum and stop hate speech and stuff." In other words, what he's really saying. Remember, this is a for-profit billionaire running a for-profit, multi-billion-dollar, now multinational corporation. He doesn't have moral beliefs. So this family-friendly stuff is bullshit. This is being done for him to maximize profit, which is what a good business person does. Nothing wrong with that until they're enabled to do literally anything they want by the government. Then it becomes a constitutional issue. What that actually means is he intends to censor more political content. I think we probably have a rough idea about what that means. Essentially, there's not going to be much political or news content on Facebook that you can't get on cable. It's already going in that direction. In their last big purge, they were purging dozens of progressive pages too, like especially pages like what was it, Police the Police and groups like that. You know, left-leaning, generally speaking, a lot of anarchists and shit. Not exactly a far-right group. It's not exactly on the vanguard of Richard Spencer's people waving tiki torches or something like that. The thing is, they just want to get rid of all independent commentary, and the reason is simply fiscal. Because those cable firms and the old guard media have more money overall, and so they're threatening these sites, basically. They're literally threatening Silicon Valley. We've seen what happens when someone tries to break the mold. What have they been doing to PewDiePie lately? He gets dogpiled by the Wall Street Journal and Vox and all of these other groups, and The Verge, defaming him. There's a reason for that. They're tired of having to compete with that commentary, especially now that he does news. You know, it's kind of semi-funny infotainment style news, but he's doing it. They're fucking terrified. They're probably worried he's going to form a syndicate or something with a bunch of other people and actually make an accredited journalistic outlet and compete with them. And he'll be able to do it in a much more user-friendly format that people will have an embedded audience of the tens of millions day one that will dwarf some of their movements. I'm terrified of that. That's what they're really afraid of. And Zuckerberg doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't at this point, I think, even really care about Facebook as a platform. He doesn't care if it collapses. He's already got all of that user data. All he does is bundle it together and sell it in batches to groups that under contract can't share it. Ah, you can sell the same bundle to 100 different firms and states. Isn't that wonderful? It's the gift that keeps on giving. All he has to do is make sure to keep gobbling up more info over time and continuing to improve and sort of sort through it and make sure it's better and more refined. So in other words, Facebook doesn't, it's not ad driven. He doesn't give a shit about ads. He doesn't care if there are no advertisers working with Facebook at all. His money's coming from something totally different. But he doesn't want himself to get thrown in jail or something. He doesn't want himself, Mark Zuckerberg himself, to get in any trouble. And so he's saying, okay, yeah, because I don't care if these independent commentators even use the site, yeah, I'll take the New York Times money. Yeah, CNN can absolutely aggregate here. It'll be a wonderful time. And pretty soon it'll be to the exclusion of any independent commentary at all, unless it is extremely boring and centrist, which means it's not really competing with those sites now, is it? What do you think? Which one do you think competes more with like a CNN or a Fox or something? Content that's exciting and kind of out there and covers maybe unorthodox topics, maybe is delivered in an unorthodox way, or something that's basically the same as cable news only with a webcam? Well, it's definitely going to be the former. Yeah, inject some incitement into it, you get a lot more views, generally speaking. See, that's really what they're trying to go after. When you say family friendly, I say heavily censored. That's really the way it works. Look, every other culture, when it delves into censorship, any other culture at any time, always uses that children. Fucking think of the children, family friendly. Think of mom and pop and apple pie in the case of the United States. They did this during the Satanic Panic. It was basically, remember, there's an image circulating. I don't have it right offhand. There's an image of like Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like a snippet from the 80s during the Satanic Panic. It's like Dungeons and Dragons causes devil worship. And then fast forward to like it was 2017 and there was one, I think it was a Salon posting, Dungeons and Dragons is like sexist and homophobic and stuff like that. It's the same fucking moral panic. It's just been rebranded and recycled. It's just as wrong. It's just as dumb. The people purveying it are just as greedy. Look, Zuckerberg just reminds me of a megachurch pastor in the 1980s. Or some opportunistic small-town politician trying to get into the Senate back in the McCarthy era. Oh, yeah, I hate commies, too. Yeah, I turned in my next-door neighbor to the Gestapo. It's the same as within the Soviet Union. Within that context, it's the same thing. Oh, inform on your neighbors. Spy on everyone. Yeah, if you do something wrong here, it will affect every other part of your life. So be quiet, little people. Be good little thought slaves for Uncle Stalin or the Nazis. or really any other authoritarian regime throughout history. I thought it was funny the other day they had an article on Jair Bolsonaro talking about how he was sworn in, right? And they're like, oh, the far-right authoritarian Bolsonaro who wants to purge people and stuff. Like, again, you don't get far-right, far-left, or any other form of purges immediately after arming your own population. Now, it's the opposite of what you should be worried of. No, you should be worried if Bolsonaro says, oh, yeah, it was a mistake. I'm actually going to take the rest of your guns away. Yeah, no 22 revolver for you, no shotgun for you. It's not going to happen. Trust me, I don't have any bad intent in mind. The funny thing is, led like lambs to the slaughter, a lot of leftists would support that. Oh my God, it's wonderful you saw the light on guns. And then, a million people end up dead, but it's justified because, they were disarmed and so now they're civilized again. It's really, really funny how that works. Zuckerberg, take a good look at in his eyes. You can judge a person this way sometimes. Look in his eyes during these congressional hearings. Does this look like the sort of individual you really want controlling a double-digit proportion of all technological communication? Do you really want that? If you think that that's a good way to go, then I think that you're a fascist apologist. Yeah, literally like corporate fascism after sort. Okay, so we're going to have 5 or 6 human beings, totally fallible individuals that, are minted as messiahs by the left for no reason, even though they also stamp on progressives. You want these people to basically determine what reality you can absorb or create, what ideas you can or cannot actually encounter or interact with, and who can or cannot engage in any form of online commerce. Like, you can't even use PayPal if you've become a leper pariah like Zuckerberg wants you to be. Oh my God, you posted something edgy 5, 6 fucking years ago. So there are people being deplatformed for things that aren't even current to their views. This was the case. Wasn't this the case with Milo when he signed up for Patreon? They're like, oh, well, you used to be associated with the Proud Boys, and they're a hate group. Well, at the time, it was a little bit different, and he disavowed number 2, and it was years ago, but it doesn't matter. They don't care because they just wanted to get rid of Milo. They don't actually care about anything beyond that in the issue. They don't want him as part of their service because they don't want any problems with MasterCard or whatever. I think any financial services, and especially technological communications from social media, video hosting, they shouldn't be able to police their content basically at all. Unless it's against the law or it's preventing other people from making use of that same service, like spam and botting. Unless it's one of those things, yeah, it should be totally allowed. Yeah, you should be able to say whatever edgy shit you want as long as you're not criminally harassing or threatening someone, defaming him or whatever. Yeah, do what you want. The Wild West Internet's great, dude. Censorship sucks ass. And so does Zuckerberg. That's about all. Peace out.